Your sign from the Neon Studio has finally arrived. Congratulations! But someone has to hang that sign. If that person is you, then listen up closely. We're going to show you everything you need to know. Included in the package with your sign is a template that's a one-to-one replica of the exact sign you ordered. Now, the first step is to tape this template up on the wall, making sure you take your time to ensure that it's level and exactly where you want it to be. Once you have the template taped up exactly where you want it, take note of the hole drilling locations for the standoffs and if you have a backlit sign for the wires as well. You'll notice that the holes for the wires are slightly bigger than the holes for the mounting bolts, so make sure that you're using the right drill bit for the right holes. Take your time and ensure that you've pre-drilled every single hole in the template before removing it, because it can be tricky to realign it if you remove it prematurely. The accuracy of this step sets the tone for the rest of the installation. Now that the holes are drilled, when it comes to running the wires for a backlit sign, it's important to consult an electrician because every situation will be different. In our case, because we had access to the back side of the wall that the sign was being mounted on, we removed some drywall to make fishing the wires easier. Once the template's been removed, make note of which holes are for wires and which are for the standoffs. Here you'll see we used extra bolts to keep track while we were fishing the wire. Now let's take a look at the letters. You'll notice that they come pre-drilled and threaded to receive the mounting bolts, and the backlit ones will have a bunch of LEDs inside as well as some wire. Now, the next step is to thread the bolts into the letter, and doing this by hand can be tedious, and that's why we use the chuck of the drill. We'll tell you more about that later, but for now it's a matter of sliding the spacers on the bolts and sliding the letters onto the wall. But before we do that, we have to thread each wire for each letter through the pre-marked hole and fish it on the other side. Align each bolt with its hole and gently give it a push until it slides into place. Because it can take a long time to thread the bolts into the letters, a good tip is to use the chuck of the drill and let the drill do the work for you. Just be careful not to damage the thread of the bolts. Once that's done, slide the spacers on, and repeat the process for each letter. Now, every mounting situation will be slightly different, so in some cases, you may want to secure each mounting bolt with adhesive or a nut on the other side, but that will depend on what you're mounting it to and how much access you have to the backside. In our situation, due to the thickness of the mounting material and the accurate pre-drilling, we found that each letter was held firmly in place with simply a pressure fit. Now that your sign is properly installed, it's a matter of wiring up the electrical components, and this is something that's usually best left to an electrician, but if this is something that you're attempting yourself, just make sure it's safely installed in an accessible location. And that's really all there is to it. Your sign's installed and it's glowing brightly. Not so hard, right? Now all you have to worry about is that you're prepared for all the new business that your fancy new sign will drum up for you.